A sweep of a doubleheader. This offense is doing more than just showing signs.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm Sam Olber. That's Matt Cozy, and you are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The biggest stage in world soccer, the biggest stage in world sports, in my opinion, is here. Let there be goals on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com to get started right now. Speaking of getting started, 15 RBIs for Dansby Swanson in these 3 games in Queens, New York. We talk about another injury to the Cubs, arguably their best pitcher for sure, and probably their best player up until about a month ago. But we have to start with this doubleheader, this victory. The Cubs put up 20 runs in 2 ball games. It was a lovely offensive showing in all facets, including the Mets defense in game 2. That was as bad of a defensive performance as I've ever seen. Watching the game and being a fan of the game. But I thought game 1 was such a huge win because McLean was rolling early, 4 innings. He looked good. Cubs were down 3-0. And from the second Michael Busch hit that homer off the facade in right field, this game got tied at 3, and the Cubs never looked back.
What a tremendous day for the Chicago National League Ball Club. An absolute blowout win in the opener, and what looked like a hard-fought win despite the Mets' ineptness in the nightcap. It turned out to be a pretty convincing win there at the end. Just a tremendous day for a team that has so much cloudiness off the field with pitcher injuries. All of a sudden, they're 9-3. Since my birthday on June 11. Last 6 games, Dansby Swanson is 11 for 23.
Finally, yes.
With 3 homers and 18 runs batted in. And Sam, we've seen the relentless nature of this offense return. And it's not just that they've scored 29 runs in the 3 games this series. And I do think this will be a sweep Thursday. More on that later. But they do it in multiple different ways. They slug, they do bat to ball, they steal bases. PCA had that bunt today. It's really, really nice to see. The starting pitching for the most part is held serve. The bullpen has pitched well for the most part this week. Yeah. Defensively, they're pretty buttoned up, and this is a big stretch for this team. Of course, the implications are many. The dramatics of this team. It's really a show every day that should be on one of these streaming channels, and more news and more headlines. And despite that, they continue to win.
You mean our show?
And it's really nice to see, and I get it. I know the goalposts have changed. I'm sure we'll talk about that today. I'm sure we'll talk about that next episode after the last game this series. But 9-3 is important in this stretch, and the offense is clicking.
Well, this is what we were talking about last week with our Dansby episode when I was talking about the case against benching them, about how these guys are like stocks. Right? Like you never know when the stock's going to rise. Now, to me, I'm not going to do a whole victory circle for Dansby because he improved his WRC plus by 22 or whatever. Like great job for him. He deserves credit, but it doesn't outweigh a huge part of why we're here. But it just shows you how this game, we sit here every day. It's just impossible to predict it. You just don't know. I mean, he literally was one of the worst hitters in baseball a week ago.
He was the worst.
And now, and in that week, he's been one of the best.
Yeah, I'm curious the last 6 games where he stacks up. It's got to be him and P.
I thought Pedro Ramirez was really good in game 2.
He was. Yeah.
I thought he had some really important hits, especially in that rally when they came back after Shota gave up 8,000 homers. And what was it, in the fourth, when he had that first and second, nobody out, he just drove a base hit through the right side. It was beautiful. And how about game 2, Nico?
Yeah.
Double in the right field, double down the left field line, double in the gap, spraying the ball all over the diamond. Who cares how far it goes? Just find some grass.
Pedro Ramirez, I was glad Council started him both games. He looked overmatched.
He did against
McCool 9 hours ago, but by the time this thing wrapped up, he looked like he belonged. And on the day, Sam, Nico was 4 for 9 with a walk and a couple good defensive plays as well. So a good day at Citi Field for him. The pitching plans in this game, it was one that it was nerve-wracking until it wasn't there really late in the nightcap. Earlier, it didn't really matter because they really put the pedal to the metal in the middle part of the game. But there's just so much to discuss here.
I also thought, speaking of overmatched, it was another poorly umpired game in game 2. I thought they were awful.
It's one of the worst crews that we've seen this year.
Yeah, they're calling interference on a Pete
on themselves.
I mean, you could have fit a phone booth between Shaw and the catcher. I mean, well, interference where? And I don't know what the official score was doing. That should have been a hit in an air for Pete. It shouldn't have been a straight air. The guy had to dive for it.
They didn't give him a hit for that?
No, they didn't give him a hit for that.
No, they need to do that. This is an important stretch that rivals Sosa.
Yeah, no, they didn't give him a hit for that at all.
D. Lee.
Can I give a shout out to Hobie Milner? He had one awful outing, and you know how important it is to me. His awful outing didn't hurt the Cubs. He came in, they were already down 7-0 against the Giants that day. It was the day they lost 30-0, whatever the score was.
Yeah, 18-3.
Yeah, whatever it was, same thing. And that outing did not impact the Cubs winning or losing that baseball game at all.
Right.
And that's the only really awful outing he's had. It's really the only one. His ERA's back down to 3.28, and in a bullpen that has just been crushed with injuries, and a pitching staff that's been crushed with injuries, he takes the ball every other game, and he gives you good work. And I think he's done a really nice job.
Yeah, Milner and Thornton especially surprised me today, getting out of their jams. And I think at that stage of the game, it was a really big part of it because Shota got taken out after 69 pitches, which quite frankly it stinks because it would have helped for this game and the next one to shorten the path from the starter.
Well, you have to take him out when he's given up a homer almost every other hitter.
Right, and that stinks that you have to do that, but that's where he's at. It's like a home run derby out there at times.
Well, Tyone's hurt.
And you could see if the pitcher records 16 outs, it's like, oh, I know it was a doubleheader today, but
it's
they're just trying to piece it together, as you know.
And I think with Shota, it's so tough because I actually don't think he didn't pitch bad tonight, but it's just when he gives stuff up, they leave the park, and it's
heavy damage.
It's just heavy damage, exactly. It's just, and so you have one guy gets on, and it's just like all of a sudden you feel like you're a pitch away from being 2 runs coming in, and it's just hard. I mean, it's the same with JMO before he went down. It's just they just give up so many home runs as a staff. Today they got out homered 4-0 and won the game because the Mets defensively were. Remind me, I'll give this a job for our wonderful listeners. Shout out to everybody out there who's listening, of course. I remind
shout
me
out to Jeff from my Chili's here in Wheaton.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah,
Jeff and Chili's. He loves this show.
This one's for you, Jeff. Jeff, remind me to watch a Mets game the next time this team really struggles, this Cubs team, because it could get worse. And sometimes you need to realize that, and it helps put things in perspective for you. Let's talk a little bit more about this game and tomorrow's game,
please.
And then we'll get to Ben Brown as well coming up next.
Today's episode is brought to you by Hims. ED is way more common than most guys think, and millions of men deal with it at some point. Hims offers a simple, convenient way to take care of your health by connecting you with licensed healthcare providers online, giving you access to personalized treatment options from the comfort of your own home. No awkward appointments, no pharmacy lines, just a straightforward process designed to make getting care easier. Taking care of yourself shouldn't feel complicated, and Hims makes the process private and easy to navigate. It's healthcare built around your schedule and comfort. We all have busy schedules, so the convenience of this is really, really paramount. You don't have to rearrange your entire day. And plus, you can get that licensed provider online. To get simple online access to personalized, affordable care for ED, hair loss, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/lockedonmlb. That's hims.com/lockedonmlb for your free online visit. Prescription required. See website for details and important safety information. hims.com/lockedonmlb.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The biggest stage in world soccer is here. Every match feels like it has the potential for a memorable moment. One goal can completely change the energy of a game, shift momentum, and alter the outcome in an instant. That's what makes tournament soccer so exciting, from the opening whistle to the final kick. Now, FanDuel is giving fans another reason to stay locked in or locked on to every match, with every goal pays. Bet on a match and get bonus bets for every goal scored in that match. More goals means more bonus bets. All you have to do is turn on your token foe. Happy 39th birthday to Lionel Andres Messi Coutinho, the greatest football player, the greatest athlete, team sports athlete that I've ever seen. You know what he is right now on FanDuel to win the Golden Boot in the World Cup? He's the favorite. He has 5 goals already in just 2 soccer games. At 39 years old, he's still one of the best players in the world. I've never seen anything like this guy. I'm telling you, turn on the TV next time Argentina plays. He might be coming off the bench because they already have everything clinched until the knockout stage. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. From the opening whistle to the final kick, let there be goals on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com to get started right now. Thank you for making Locked On Cubs your first listen of the day. If you haven't already, go check out our new Everydayer Club, which includes ad-free episodes and more. Go to lockedoncubs.supercast.com or click the link in this episode description. Also, hit subscribe for us on YouTube if you haven't already. I want to get to 20,000 subs. We're about 1,000 away, about 1,100 away. I'd love to do that. Maybe we'll do something cool to celebrate 20K on YouTube. What do you want to talk about for this game tomorrow? Peralta, you take me through it. You seem really enthused about it.
Well, I also wanted to give a shout out to Ryan Rollison, who's now up to 17 1/3 in his scoreless streak.
When he's commanding the heater, I mean, I guess you could say this about most guys, but when he's commanding the heater, he's a tough AB.
So Boyd returns tomorrow against Freddie Peralta, who allowed 10 runs his last start. He allowed 6 3 starts ago. 4.83 ERA this season in 16 games. Very, very unlike him. I guess really the only thing I am wondering, because I think they'll run out a pretty much regular lineup, the Cubs will. Any chance they go with a lead? Is there any chance they go Boyd to Ray to absolutely solidify the sweep?
I don't think so because you want to win those. You want to have a chance against Milwaukee, right?
At least one of the 3 games, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I guess you're making. I mean, because you're basically saying you don't expect Boyd to go more than 5 innings, no matter what.
No, I think he'll go maybe 4 or 5, and unless he's really pitch efficient, maybe he gets to 6, or maybe he dips into the 6. Maybe he gets just that 16th out.
They're so banged up that I don't even know right now what the options are. Like who? So if it isn't Ray,
or maybe they go Boyd to Velasquez and they just say, "Hey,
that's
try to get us to the end."
It'll be. I forgot it. Yeah,
and then Ray. Okay, Ray's a more competitive game against the Brewers. Yeah,
against Mizorowski.
Yeah, well, preview that series the next episode somehow.
I think it'd be better TV for everybody if I got in against Mizorowski and just struck out on 3 pitches and swung when he was already throwing his next pitch. I'd swing as he's throwing the pitch after the pitch he threw that I just swung at.
He's literally throwing 104.
Yeah. I think tomorrow, even though the Cubs did their job this week in this series to win 3 or 4, I think tomorrow's important. So, I don't want to, like you said, move the goalpost, but just to allow yourself, a series loss in Milwaukee that doesn't hurt you, because you'd still be thrilled with a 5-2 trip. You know what I mean?
Of
so
course.
if they sweep tomorrow. So, all right. Yeah. We don't really know the pitching situation because we found out yet another injury. It was about I think I found out at about 11:50 a.m. I just had a yogurt. And
right before the first game.
Yeah, and Ben Brown has a neck strain, according to counsel or whoever it was. Taylor, somebody said it's been bothering him for a while. I think it was counsel, and they sent him back to get imaging,
Chicago.
which I don't like that at all.
No.
And then the other update, which these updates, Edward Cabrera, they're calling it a moderate hamstring strain. And I'm not going to play doctor, but I'm gonna right now. I know I'm not supposed to. I'm gonna. Okay. First of all, moderate strain is just a kind way of saying that there's a tear there. That's just a nice way of saying it, because there's a minor and there's a moderate. The moderate typically is like a 6 to 8 week thing. And you could clearly see him holding his inner thigh, adductor, groin. What do you want to hear? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe did that look like a hamstring injury?
Not live.
Yeah, whatever it is. They put him on the 15
whatever it is. It looks like he tore something.
Yeah, if he's back before what's today, the 24th of June.
Yeah.
If he's back before August 24th, I would consider that a massive amount of success. Unless it just was one of those things that just looked awful in the moment. But I don't see that. I think he's going to be out a couple of months.
Ben Brown going to the IL.
Awful.
To me is absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah.
This is a guy that finally figured it out, and he figured it out as a starter, who is right now under consideration for the All-Star game. A 1.85 ERA in 68 innings. Are you kidding me? He's been a huge story for this team. He stepped up. We've talked about him time and time again, and we've been excited to discuss that after he was somewhat of a lightning rod with this team and this fan base. And the Cubs lose another starter, the 6th one to be placed on the IL this year. There was an abundance of roster activity Wednesday that we could get to as well. But I'm devastated by this. I think initially when the news broke, I was really trying to keep my glass half full and go in terms of the strategy part of it of, okay, they could build this IL stint around the All-Star break. He could return, one of the first 5 games after the break. We're good.
Right.
But now, just in the last couple hours, hearing that he's in Chicago right now, and it's around the same area that a benign tumor was found in summer of 24. I'm scared for him. And why do I keep talking about playoffs for this team? Folks, at this point, it's not hard to persuade yourself that making the playoffs would not only be an accomplishment, but it would be a big one. Given what's happened during the year, and I've been the one who have said, hey, from this point forward, pitching is the key, and now you throw in injuries. I was just talking performance, given the IL stints from then, and now we update that with Cabrera. We update that with Brown. We don't know what's happening with Steele. They could lose both wild card games by 30 runs. It doesn't matter, and they might if Vince Velasquez is pitching.
I think I should pitch.
But at this point, yes, the goalposts have moved.
73 on
Of
the corner.
course they moved. But if I'm going to stay optimistic, if I'm going to enjoy the season, yeah, I do look at the wild card standings. And you bet you I'm going to still enjoy the year. I don't know what's going to happen next year. There's the intel that comes out is not great. Major League Baseball wants to use college baseball. You hear about that last week? I mean,
no,
this stuff, the intel on this isn't good for next year.
Yeah, I hear,
and yeah, it's been tough this year, but the goalpost changing and them accomplishing what has changed, it just seems more notable than ever.
I agree with everything you said. All I would ask is for you to add that it's not just the injuries that changed the goalpost. It was the ineptitude of the offense for almost 2 months. That changed the goalpost too. Right? Because if all these injuries.
But we hinted at it before the offensive crater, though.
Oh, well, we talked about it the day Horton got hurt.
We did.
We talked about it the day Horton got hurt. The day he got hurt, the whole season changed in terms of what you were trying to accomplish. Now, I still thought that day they would have a fighting chance at the division, and then that got wiped out, in my opinion. And, it's still a long season. That got wiped out.
Because of the offense.
And then now along with the pitching injuries, because it's both together. Because what are they, like 6.5 back? If they had if Steele wasn't set back and he was making his debut this weekend in Milwaukee and you were going Steele, Brown, whoever, you'd still have some life, right? Because the offense is back. So it's the combination. They dug themselves a hole offensively. Their pitching hung in there for a lot of that stretch. And now as they come out of this hole offensively, they're literally almost out of guys.
Correct. I don't know how they're going to replace them.
Literally, they're almost out of pitchers.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk a little bit more about that. And I got a really interesting quote from this Athletic article with the Mets about big market, small market teams. I think you guys will find really interesting. We're going to talk about that coming up next.
Today's episode is brought to you by Odoo. Running a business shouldn't feel like you're trying to connect a bunch of systems that were never designed to work together. One app for accounting, another for inventory, another for sales, and somehow none of them talk to each other. That's where Odoo comes in. Odoo is an all-in-one business management software that brings every part of your business together in one powerful platform. From sales and accounting to inventory and marketing, everything works in one place, helping your team move faster, stay organized, and focused on growing the business instead of managing software. The best organizations know that success isn't just about talent. It's about having everyone working toward the same goal, and that's true in sports just like it is in business. Think about Ryan Rollison. He pitched for the White Sox and Rockies the last couple of years. He was DFA'd by those teams. Talk about making adjustments, and now he is an ERA in the ones for the Cubs. Great story for Rollison there. Great organizations win because operations like that matter, and that's why you should get Odoo. Try for free today at odoo.com/lockedon. odoo.com/lockedon.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Workplace chaos can show up fast. That's where Indeed Sponsored Jobs comes in. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you reach candidates who actually fit what you're looking for. Skills, experience, and location. Find the right person can make all the difference, whether it's building a business or building a winning team. Folks, the Cubs might get one of those sponsored ads on Indeed, and they'll put the candidates and the things that they want to match. Can throw a fastball above 95 and a nice sweeping slider because they're running out of pitchers fast. And if you're running out of employees fast, you want to use Indeed. I use it all the time. I was on there today. I had a situation where a coach was leaving town. I didn't know about it. It was going to be a while. And I was like, 6 weeks is a long time. Boom, got an ad out on Indeed right away. Already got some calls lined up with candidates tomorrow. It's unbelievable how fast it moves. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. It's less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs, and listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed. Sponsored jobs. Alongside Matt Cozy, I am Sam Olber. We are lifelong fans taking our passion into discussion with you on all things Cubs. And thank you for making Locked On Cubs the #1 Cubs podcast in the world. Matt, did you see the acquisition that the Cubbies made today?
Was it Bryce Wilson?
Yeah, Bryce Wilson. He might start for them. I mean, who knows?
He was working as a starter, for the AAA affiliate of the Phillies, claimed off waivers. Already his 9th year in the majors. I couldn't believe that. He must have debuted. He was really young because I think he's only like 28 or 29. And I think they're going to put him on the active roster either Thursday or Friday. I think they have to.
Yeah, you'll see him. He pitched for the Sox. Fixed for the Sox last year.
And I think they might swap out. So Ferguson was the 27th man today, Sam. Mm-hmm. Is it worth a shot for him to stick around and maybe swap him out with Hollowell or Murray?
Yes.
It looks like Ferguson might have something. And if you're trying to piece it together, which they are, especially, here until the break, 16 games left, I think they could piece it together. You get a little this, we'll talk more about the schedule next episode, but it's between now and Sunday. It's hard, but then there's going to be some off days coming up, and I think there's going to be a lot of shuttling between Des Moines and the Cubs.
Oh yeah, there's going to be a lot of shuttling. There's going to be a lot of shuffling. There's going to be a lot of openers. There's going to be a lot of. It's going to be all hands on deck right now for the Cubs, and unfortunately, it's not great timing with who you have to play over the weekend, but. Matt, I want to transition a bit here. There was an article that I thought was interesting on The Athletic. It's by Tyler Kepner. It was a Mets article from The Athletic, and it was basically about kind of like how David Stearns is trying to build this Brewer small market feel, but with the Mets where he actually has resources and money, and how sometimes that actually could, the money actually could confuse things, believe it or not. And there was a quote in here by Counsel, Grant, my buddy with the Milwaukee radio station, put me onto this. I just want to read you this, want to hear your thoughts. Okay.
All right.
And I want to preface, I have no context. I didn't see this. So I don't want to, I'm not trying to make fun of Craig. I just want to get this in. Okay.
Yeah.
Quote, if you're building a good small market team, you do have more optionality in terms of like, if this doesn't work, we can do this, Counsel said. When you're committing resources to free agents, that's your guy. But every team tries to build depth, end quote. And I guess what I'm saying is why I find that interesting is I think sometimes we sit here and go, why don't they sit Swanson? Why don't they sit Nico? Why don't they sit Bregman? Whereas, like, there's a lot of money and investment into those guys. Whereas, like, the Brewers just cut bait with Luis Rengifo the other day because he wasn't performing, and they were paying him no money, And I'm not saying having less money is good. I'm just saying I think you're seeing it with David Stearns. I think you see it sometimes with the Cubs, where it's like the Cubs went out and signed Dansby Swanson, with all due respect, because they had to. They had money available, and they had to make a big splash for their fans because they knew that they had money and they needed to do something. The Cubs went out and signed Alex Bregman this offseason because they could. They got the green light, and they could. Now, that's not to say that they didn't think it was a good fit. The Mets went out and got Bo Bichette. Remember that? It was like the Mets failed on Tucker, failed on this. It was like, we got to get somebody, so let's just go get Bichette. And I just think sometimes
it was the next morning. Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes you could run into trouble like that. And I think a small market guy like Stearns or other small market guys, they can't make the adjustment as easy as Friedman made it in LA.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's very layered. You could try to simplify it to the risk versus reward argument, or less money equals less consequence potentially, especially if it doesn't go well.
Beautiful. That's it. It's beautifully said. It's like, well, if you have less expectations, less consequence, and then that allows you to be more aggressive as well in certain ways.
Yeah, and you're not. The Brewers are whatever the opposite of stuck is. That's what the Brewers are.
Right.
And they not only are they not stuck, they willingly trade players,
including their
Think
their
about
president.
the trades just only this past offseason. That's it. The one with the Red Sox, gold mine. The one with the Mets, gold mine. And that's just one offseason.
They hit on every and that's abnormal. Right? Like it's not like for that.
But they have a good list going though since 2018.
No, but I'm saying they're an exception. They never mess up, like ever. Like I'm not expecting the Cubs to be that. That's just like I want them to take
extreme, yeah.
Yeah, I want them to take the Brewers spot, but like you can make a case they might have made two of the best trades of the last 10 years this offseason with the way it's looking right now.
Yep.
But I just think that was interesting because it's not just the guys that they let go. Players Counsell, let's be honest, he hasn't had a huge impact on the Cubs. David Stearns, not going well right now with him in Queens, New York.
Sure.
So I just thought that was interesting, but you're right. The Cubs are alive. As it stands right now, they are in the third wild card spot, just a half game behind the Cardinals, who hopefully, they're 4-6 in their last 10. Hopefully they're coming down to earth a little bit. I have a feeling that head-to-head will come down to the head-to-head matchup.
And we're in agreement that the Phillies are going to get in.
Yeah, we could have been in agreement when the Cubs were sweeping them earlier in the year.
So you're playing for the 5th or 6th seed, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. You never know. The Cubs could pass them up, but if the Cubs pass them up, they're still making it. They're too good.
Yeah.
I mean, they got Wheeler, they got Sanchez, Luzardo's been up and down. They got Schwarber, they got Harper, they're a loaded team from top to bottom. So. But yeah, right now Cubs in a playoff spot. The only team I would say behind them that really worries me is San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
And we go from there. Really rough. It's been a rough season so far for the Redlegs.
And the Marlins are red hot.
Yeah, the Marlins are red hot. That's true. Yeah, they've won 7 of 10. If it's going to be one of those years where they steal a playoff berth from us, that happens every 3-4 years. Then you could do that show by yourself. Thank you for tuning in to Locked On
call
Cubs.
Politis.
No, please call Politis, call Ty, whoever it is. Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Cubs. Make sure you subscribe and follow so you get all the latest episodes for those of you on video. We say to the first ever 24/7 national Locked On podcast network. And there's another air on audio. Make sure you make your second listen Locked On MLB. For Matt Cozy, I'm Sam Wolber. This is Locked On Cubs. No airs on this show. Just kidding.